Hello comic folks, welcome back to the channel. I'm Al, your comic book pal here on Comic Accurate. I've missed you all, so I hope you enjoy this video where I talk about the forgotten game in the Arkham series. Like a lot of you, I've been riding the hype train that is for the new LEGO Batman game, and honestly, I'm excited. That hype sent me back into my game library, specifically the Batman section for what felt like the 100th time. I was this close to replaying Arkham City again, and then I found it, the forgotten Arkham game. A game I owned but never actually played, so this video is my journey, my descent into Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate. Quick heads up before we dive in, there are moderate spoilers, but I'll keep things pretty low key in case you want to experience the game yourself. Even though Blackgate takes place after Arkham Origins, it's not your typical AAA Arkham experience. The game tries to hide the change through a lot of the actions and during its action sequences, but it becomes very clear pretty quickly this is a 2.5D game. That means a lot of side-scrolling, strange camera angles, and depth-based navigation, and yes, me constantly opening the map because I'm lost. In terms of the story, the game is set 3 months after Arkham Origins, when a routine night in Gotham City quickly escalates. Jim Gordon calls Batman for help with a breakout at Blackgate Prison, but it's not just Joker, Penguin, and Black Mask causing trouble. This riot also involves the Department of Extra Normal Operations with Amanda Waller and Rick Flag watching everything unfold. Blackgate Prison is split into 3 territories. Joker controls administration, Penguin runs the cell block, and Black Mask holds industrial. From there, the game becomes a sort of choose your own adventure. You as Batman get to decide who to pursue first. My playthrough, I went after Black Mask mainly because I was tired of the industrial zone and think he's a cool villain, but you also gotta keep the lights on, otherwise he will get even more lost in the convoluted map. But honestly, choose whoever you want. This is a judgment-free bat zone. Plus, someone had to remind Black Mask he's not the final boss. One of the coolest ideas in the game is that the ending changes depending on who you defeat last. Joker's ending was easily my favorite, with Penguin coming in at a solid second. Mechanically, Blackgate wants to feel like an Arkham game. You still have combat encounters, stealth sections, gadget, gliding, and Predator-style gameplay, but everything is constrained by that 2.5D perspective, and that has definitely felt throughout my time playing the game. But it isn't all bad. There were some ideas that the developers did that actually worked, at least in my opinion.
Blue ribbon for the bat. Who's next on your to-do list?
All right, let's get serious.
The Deadshot mission is a standout scene. I remember seeing the cutscene and him coming into the game in an interesting moment. Thematically, he's a fun character, and honestly, playing through that part of the mission was fun and something I felt was refreshing during the game's forced perspective. The mission focused on him actively tracking you through his scope and you avoiding his fire. The only illogical part of this is he's supposed to be a great shot, so it would have been cool if you needed to trick him in some way or been given a chance to distract him rather than just moving around all the time. Another thing I really liked about this game was the Wayne Tech crates, as they're little chests that are hidden around the map that have some small collectible in them, and they let you unlock and assemble new suits over time, as well as some other things, but the main point was that it gives you suits, and I thought that was a cool concept. Even if I didn't go out of my way to hunt them all down, I did like that they had added another layer of something to chase in an otherwise streamlined game. The animated cutscenes styled like moving comic panels also look great and fit the tone perfectly. For me, it kind of made the game worth it since I got to see almost like a moving comic book, but at the same time, if you want to watch them all at once, you're more than welcome to see them in the gallery section once you complete the game, or let me know in the comments if you want me to make a video on it. In this section, I'll talk about their 2.5D problem and why it didn't work. The 2.5D perspective constantly feels like it's fighting against the Arkham formula instead of supporting it. Combat becomes repetitive, stealth feels limited, and movement often feels awkward and restricted. I lost count of how many times muscle memory kicked in and I tried to do the classic Arkham takedown that just aren't there, or even trying to disarm a henchman with a knife. I tried timing counters prompts like you do in other games, and that led to many deaths. Gliding feels flat, vent stealth feels shallow, combat encounters lack the rhythm and flow that make Arkham combat so satisfying. There's also a big lack of fighting variety, and aiming gadgets, especially the batarang, can be incredibly frustrating when depth perception doesn't cooperate. And I know what you're gonna say, skill issue, but there's one section of the map that was pretty annoying for this reason. So when you get to the lighthouse section, you tell me how many times you threw the batarang at the henchman at the top. I also would have loved to have seen more villains dropping in again, like mini bosses similar to what they did with Deadshot, and given them something fun and unique. Not just a fight with Solomon Grundy where he stomps right past you and you have to get the timing right. It felt more like generic bad guy fight than a thinking and complex problem like a regular Batman game we know. You do eventually learn the map and the game rewards you for mastering it, but navigation can feel punishing. Fast travel exists, but not nearly enough. I often found myself leaving a location just to fast travel closer to an objective that was technically nearby. Overall, the 2.5D format might work better on a handheld device or phone, but playing with a controller on the PC just made me constantly wish I was just playing another Arkham game instead. But yeah, using a controller is recommended since playing on a keyboard and mouse had pretty weird default key mappings. Despite my issues with the gameplay, as I mentioned before, the story itself is solid. It works as a continuation of Arkham Origins and fits nicely into the broader Arkham timeline. The villain roster, Solomon Grundy, Bronze Tiger, Deadshot, Catwoman, Bane, adds flavor, even if some characters don't get as much depth as they do in other entries of the series. It also sits before Batman Arkham Shadow chronologically, which, without spoiling anything, is an incredible experience and takes Batman's storytelling and gameplay mechanics in a completely different yet awesome direction, since it's on VR and you can experience things in first person. So here's my final verdict of if it's worth playing. Blackgate has mixed reviews and I completely understand why. I don't think it's a bad game, but I definitely wouldn't recommend it at full price. That said, the game regularly goes on sale for $2 or $3, and at that price, I think it's worth it. If you can tolerate the awkward gameplay to experience the story, there's something worthwhile here. Honestly, this game might have even worked better as a comic or a visual novel. If you liked Arkham Origins and want more of that story, wanted to complete the full Arkham series experience, or if you want a small Batman palette cleanser and something new before diving into Legacy of the Dark Knight, this could be exactly what you're looking for. Anyways, Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate isn't a perfect Arkham game. It's not even close, but it is an interesting story trapped inside a frustrating format. If you go in with the right expectations, there's still something to appreciate here, and it's a reminder that even flawed Batman stories can help pave the way for brighter futures. And with that, I'll see you in Gotham. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to share it with anyone who might like it or is thinking about picking up the game. Don't forget to subscribe for more comic content. I'm not just covering game reviews or sticking to Marvel and DC. You can expect more comic stories, game breakdowns, and deep dives coming soon. Thank you for watching and have a great day.